Welcome back to the Vendetta Racing Workshop. Today, it's engine day. So the day is eventually here. It's time to look at this engine and understand what damage is there, see what new parts we need before we can rebuild it. The best place to do that is on a bench. I'm not fit enough to put it on the normal workbench, so we need to put it on this ramp. In order to get on the ramp, we need to move the bike. This should be fun. Before we start pulling this engine apart, it's probably worth going back to what happened on the run when this issue arose. We weren't actually aware of it at all. In fact, we thought it was a blown head gasket at the time. We'd finished a final run of the event, and it was the fastest run of the event that we did. I rode the bike back to the off-ramp. The crew came and picked me up, and they were actually quite excited because apparently on the radio it had come over saying that I'd qualified for the long course, and if I could get back to the starting area within 20 minutes, I could run again. Now, I'd already in my head decided that we're done. The bike needed modifications, vision was a problem, traction was a problem. We'd learnt enough to then come back and give it another crack, which was what we're doing right now. But hearing that, it was like, okay, well, long course, 5 miles, maybe it's worth doing it. And then we looked at the back of the bike, and it was covered in this oil-water emulsion. Hence we thought it was the head gasket.
How was it, Al?
Sorry?
How was it?
Oh, we are done.
10 mile an hour off the record.
We're done. Puked water some. Oh. Oh, fuck, we are properly done.
It's all safe, we're all been good.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah. Everybody's safe, it's been good, it's been amazing. Ooh. Ooh, it's water everywhere.
And water's oil. It's oil.
It's oil, is it? We're done anyway.
Yeah, it's blown something for sure.
That's the run to have done it on.
Yeah. Oh well. Roadside repairs. Now, right after that, the bike got packed up and went in a container. We came home. The bike was at sea for 3 months. And during that 3 months, I was certain that my conclusion that it was the head gasket. Not enough clamping force with the head bolts. Actually got head bolts made out of Inconel 714, which is almost twice as strong as the standard bolts, and different nuts, thinking the clamping force would help us. And it wasn't until we got the engine out of the bike and had a look and realised that the catastrophe of what the actual problem is. What I suspect, and I've touched this on videos before, so the piston is missing half the skirt entirely, and the cylinder has a crack outside and inside. So I can only presume that it all happened when the throttle was shut off. And as soon as we shut the throttle off, the engine balance changed, the harmonics of the engine changed, and it was either lost the back of the piston, which then caused the cylinder crack, or the cylinder had a crack, which then caused the piston. Either way, we don't know. The piston skirt went through the engine. When we drained the oil, you could see the aluminium through the oil. So I think it's gone straight into the gearbox and it's just turned to mush, which is an advantage to us because this engine is now going to be the spare engine. The backup engine we had before, which was never actually rebuilt properly, that's getting rebuilt from scratch. It's a deeper sump engine, which will give us more oil capacity. So that's going to be the primary engine. This is just going to be a backup. I honestly don't want to strip this engine all the way back to the bearings. My hope is to get to the oil pump, check inside the oil pump and see what that looks like, and then make a decision from there. And if we can, we'll try and blow out all the oil galleries to clean them all out so we don't have to split the engine at all. We'll see what our luck brings. But yeah, it was a rather catastrophic failure. We do have new pistons coming. They're coming from Italy, so forged pistons are going to be a lot stronger than this. But we can only do so far until the pistons are here. But we'll strip it down, we'll see what we can find out, and get it to a place where all we need to do is fit new pistons, fit new gaskets, and build the engine and back up again. To what caused the issue, it's unknown. It could have been that the piston ring gap between it was just a bit too tight for the amount of boost we're running. It's not a lot of boost, it's only 15 psi, but it's there for a long time. We're talking 30-40 seconds of heavy boost going into the cylinders. It's not something you really plan for, and it's not what you would normally see in a normal bike at a racetrack. Could have been that. It could have been the oil temperature. I mean, these pistons have got channels for cooling the bottom of the piston. Now we know the oil cooler was getting blocked with salt, and we didn't clean it between the final run and the run before. We did back-to-back runs because there was hardly any queues. So it's quite possible the oil was just too hot and it wasn't cooling the pistons down, hence the oil cooler. Or it could have been a third factor we just haven't found yet. So it's time to slowly take this engine apart. I have had it in bits before, so it will look easy to come apart. But we'll get back into the oil pump and have a look at what that looks like and make a game plan from there. The good thing is, this is about the only thing left. The two engines to rebuild. never good to go back. Let's get cracking. We've got the oil pump out and we've rinsed it through with brake cleaner, which I will put oil back in just in case it damages the seals. Obviously the pump's fine, which is a good thing. More importantly, the cleaner that came out the other side was spotless. There wasn't any sludge or residue or nasty crap. It all came straight out, which is promising. But obviously there is sludge in the engine, which is kind of obvious because half a piston's gone through it. But to have the oil pump that clean gives me a bit of hope that it hasn't spread too far, or if it has, it's not coarse enough to cause any damage. I think before we start blowing through lines, I might pull the oil filter out and cut it. We did empty it when I emptied the oil out of it, but it'd be interesting to see if we can cut it open to see what we can find in there too. As I mentioned previously, the hope is not to rebuild this engine entirely. The hope is to get it down to about this level, obviously take the barrels off and put new pistons on, etc. But we don't want to split the motor in half because it splits from there. And splitting this thing in half is a lot of work, which means getting more gaskets, more seals, etc., flowing in to do that. So, as this is going to be a spare engine, it's trying to do it in the budget. Let's pull the oil filter off. Okay, oil filter put up a bit of a fight, but it's telling us what I wanted to see. That there's this, just aluminium paste which is in there, which is similar to what we've seen in the casings when we originally pulled the casings off the first time. So, based on the ports of the oil pump, it does look like the filter caught a lot of it, which is good. Now, we'll blow through the oil lines as well, just to see what we can come out of there. But it's looking promising. I mean, it's a paste. It's clear that whatever came off the back of that piston, it's been chunked straight into the back of the gearbox and munched into a small grinding paste, which obviously for longevity of engines is very good. But if we can clear the galleries and flush it through, then it's definitely going to be good enough for what we needed to do. Will the engine last 30,000 miles? No. Do we want it to? No. So I think we're on a winner. Bear in mind this is a backup engine, so yeah. It's been a couple of days since we got the oil pump off and checked the condition of the pump and the oil filter itself. The plan was going to be to take the heads off and start looking at oil galleries and check the tops for debris up there. But we've just had a bit of a setback. We've got word that the piston manufacturing has been delayed somewhat, and they're still, well, 6 weeks manufacturing once they get the machine fixed to make them. So we're a fair bit away from getting pistons yet. So the thought process has changed to, do we strip this thing completely? We do have time. It's a bit of a setback, it really is, because that means everything's getting pushed to summer testing, where it's really hot and nasty. So we're going to be doing both dyno runs in the middle of the summer heat. None of the dynos here are AC'd, not the big ones anyway, so it's going to cause some challenges for us for sure. But because of the delay, we still need to think about what we're going to do with this one. So I'm going to ponder it for a while. We'll probably call this video as it sits at the moment and come up with a game plan of how exactly we're going to tackle this engine in the future, which will continue on with the next installment. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Please give us a like and a subscribe if you're enjoying this. Send us questions, and we'll catch you in the next one.